Good evening. It is 7:35, Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. We now call to order the historic town of Eatonville regular council meeting. Mrs. King, would you please verify quorum?
Yes, Councilwoman Jordan. Here. Councilman Mack.
Here.
Councilwoman Randolph. Here. Vice Mayor Washington.
Present.
Mayor Garber.
Here. Please stand for a moment of silence, followed by pledge of allegiance. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the approval of the agenda, I want to point out some amendments. First, for the town council meeting minutes, we want to add that those minutes are for 12/16/25 and 2/17/26. Under council decision, we're going to add engineering replacement. This was an item that would have been on workshop, but we ran out of time, so it'll be discussed and voted for. The Canvas board member was voted on prior, but because of changes, we now need to appoint another person. And then finally, resolution 2026-9 is being added, and you have these documents. It's a revote for technicalities from the first time it was voted on.
Madam Mayor. All items are being added to council decision, correct?
Yes, all those items are in council decision. All right, with those amendments, is there a motion for approval?
Second question.
Yes.
You said we had something on the workshop?
On the-
I didn't see that unless it was added
So
on.
on the workshop, there was going to be an additional item. You have the documents. It's the CPH agreement and exhibits. This item was, the award was originally with WBQ, but they declined the services. So now it needs to come before you. It's a big document at the bottom. Right.
Yeah, I got it, just wasn't labeled on the agenda, that's why.
Yes,
Yes, it's their walk ons. All right, there are no more questions. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed. All right, the agenda has been approved. We're ready for presentations and recognition. We would like to take this moment and time to recognize Councilwoman Wanda Randolph. And this is with the Florida League of Cities, the Institute for Elected Municipal Officials, second level. It says 2 on it. Second level, certificate of completion, April 25th through 26th, Lake Buena Vista. Again, presented to Wanda Randolph, Councilwoman, Town of Eaton.
Have a picture, please.
Going in the work.
Yes, sure. Ready to say hi?
I think y'all last one up together like this.
Monday, you gonna take a picture? Please. Thank you.
Yes, we can be sitting over the same side.
You guys should be up.
It's so much like I said.
Yeah, you guys should be up. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, no. I didn't get it all.
Congratulations. Councilwoman.
Thank you.
We're now ready for citizen participation.
Okay, we have Joyce Harvey. We also have Ruthie Critton, who is yielding her time. Mrs. Harvey.
Don't start my time, I have a question. After the next event, after the election, all council people will be coming back, right? After the election, the original council that we have now, everyone will be back in the room, right?
On the
March
17th, on the March
So we're
17th.
gonna be a citizen participation.
It will be our regular meeting, so we will have.
So I get a chance to thank people for, okay, that's fine. Okay, so. It's time to relax for a moment. I'm going to do a reenactment of my perception of the last, I don't know, 6 weeks or 5 weeks talking about duplexes. But I have a special guest first. The young neighborhood legend starts now. Now, T-Mac, you might not know this, but you're going to be a council person. Very respected person in the community, not just with sports, but just for caring about your citizens. How do you feel about that? All right, so let's, I want to talk about, like, we've had some talks together about your feelings and my feelings, and you always listen to me. Even if you decide something else, you listen. And I'm great. He does, he listens, he listens. Now, sometimes you might get a little out of control, so take deep breaths in some of the meetings, and don't be up with the ladies, because it makes me nervous. So, let's start back a few weeks ago. It started like this. It's okay to laugh out loud because, oh, and everybody's coverage is not exactly representing them as it should, as close as I can get, okay? All right, so. We'll start with, we're going to make duplexes. Okay, agree. And I want to have a motion with no discussion. I don't have a puppet, Councilwoman Ware. I'm only listening to you guys' words, and then you said, well, I want to second that, even though I don't know what I'm seconding, but I have a question. I told her, no discussion. You did, you said no discussion. So we were all in confusion, all in total confusion. And then it went on a little further, and I believe, Cliff is also confused and said something like, we need to have Tara come in because there has to be new information for us to be able to make a change in the law. So Tara comes in, this is a bit of exaggeration, and she's like, the fact is, there is no new information. There's no new information. Oh, sorry about it, but thank you. Okay. Then we get to the end of it. I'm almost done. I have this. It makes me just feel some relief from the confusion that I feel when we're having these meetings. The lovely Councilwoman Randolph. I don't know. Councilwoman Randolph says, I want to rescind my vote. And I believe the mayor says something about, for lack of a second, the whole thing dies. We've been going weeks and weeks and weeks in a circle about the same thing. I have one request. And this is my attempt to bring a little light, something, crazy to me. I still have to do this. That's fair. You guys put the effort into things that a lot of citizens want. Put the same effort. This has come up over and over and over and over again. If you're representing us, please put more effort into representing us. That's all. And thank you. And I'm going to be in it. I'm going to be in it. Thank you. It's supposed to be some relief. Shoot, we need some relief.
Is anybody else?
Yeah, yep, we have Mr. Brian Novick. You ready?
Good evening, Mayor, council members, members of the community. My name is Ryan Novak, and I am a candidate for Town Council seat number 2. It's been brought to my attention recently that there are people sharing my past on Facebook. And what's being shared is no secret. It's public record. I'm not embarrassed, and I'm not ashamed of anything. I'm a different person today than I was 16 years ago. I also know that it allowed me to learn how to navigate the system. A system that I know that allows people to pay their debts to society and still move forward. And we should not always be judged by our lowest common denominator. My father spent 20 years in prison. I was raised by a single mother of 3 on a salary of $20,000. I know intimately how easy it is to be left behind, how hard it is to get ahead, and how easy it's to find yourself in a situation because that's all you know. I know what it's like to be written off, and I know what it's like to prove people wrong. I feel like Eatonville might know that feeling too. This town has been judged by outsiders as the lowest common denominator for too long. But we are so much better than that. And we are so much better than what people might think of us. And I hope to be a part of showing everyone just that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have Anthony Grant.
Thank you, Mayor Council. Mr. Novak, I applaud those statements and I respect that. I really do. I have a past also. You know, Ms. Arby, I don't know you. I've never met you. And but the good book says that when I was a child, I suspect as a child and man, I put a child for esteem. I don't want to build these places. I don't know where you ever heard that from. That's not my intent. I have no desire. I hate duplexes. I think they're bad for the community. So I don't know where you get that information from. But let me correct you. That's not my intent.
Okay.
I built, I've spent the last 34 years in public service in the town of Eatonville. And I'm going to continue to do that to the day I die. Because I love my community just that much. And if you needed me today, tonight, tomorrow, I'll be there. I promise you that. In spite of what you may say, in spite of your signs, in spite of your theatrics, in spite of your little Muppet and puppet show, which would work well for the Hungerford Elementary kids. But I respect the fact that you have a right to do that. I built about approximately $4 million worth of single family homes here. And I'm proud of that. I really am proud of that. My intent, my sole intent is this. I bought a piece of property. I paid $670,000 for it. I want to refinance it to put my money back in my pocket. I can't do that because the code will not allow the bank. The bank won't do it because if it's destroyed, they can't cover their assets with insurance. So the code will not allow me to rebuild the duplex to cover the insurance that is required for the bank. That's all I did. I went to the planner and she made a recommendation to P&Z. This was their idea, which it accomplished. There's 24 duplexes here and everybody's in the same status that I am. And I heard Mr. Novak speak about this very same issue. If your garage burned up tonight, you couldn't rebuild it. That's not fair to you because you set within the setbacks. They allowed you to set within 20-foot setbacks of the rear yard. But that's not fair to you and your family because you didn't know that when you bought your home. So I think you should be able to rebuild that garage as it was when you purchased your home. Nobody goes to the city and check the code before they buy a piece of property. Unfortunately, I didn't do that either. That's all I asked. So council, that's all I'm at. I don't want a duplex. My intent is never to build a duplex. I just want the opportunity to rebuild it along with the other 23 duplexes, along with Mr. Novak's garage if it ever burned down, and I pray that it never will, that he have the opportunity to make it whole as it was. That's all I'm saying here, actually. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We have Angela Johnson.
Mayor, council, so I hold my comments on the duplexes for the first reading. But I wanted to circle back on the comments that were made during the workshop. I know that I've been actively here now for often 6 to 8 years. And there's always been talk about the audits not being done timely. And Ms. Daniels, you and I talked about this when you were an elected official. It's no surprise. It should be no surprise to any of you of the discussions that you're having tonight. In all honesty, I think you need to look at yourself as where did you fail, not just the staff. Because you could have brought forward as a recommendation to hire. We have discussed it for 4, 5, 6 years about the need to either increase salaries, to hire more proficient, experienced individuals, or you could have hired contracted individuals well before now. So I would encourage you not to make it seem like it's today's problem. It's been a problem where a number of you have sat behind that dining desk for 4, 5, 6, 12 years, and nothing has been done. So please don't make it today's problem. Come up with a resolution. Don't wait until budget time to bring in a contractor. Sign something today. Put an RFA out, RQ, RP, whatever, and get someone in to go ahead and work on getting your policies updated. I asked the question before. We should have financial analysts on board to be doing our cash flow analysis. You have millions and millions of reimbursable grants out there. Do we have the funds to expend the money to get reimbursed when we know how slow the government reimbursement process works? So instead of sitting here saying, who sent an email, who did not send an email, start looking at what do I need to do, not tomorrow, or not yesterday, not tomorrow, but yesterday. Sign something. Give the CAO authority, give the mayor authority to get a contracted person in. Same thing with impact fees. Where are we? Question we're gonna ask, where are we on the analysis of the reimbursement for when we looked at the water rates? And I hate to be the one to say, it is not my problem as a resident that the former CAO failed to have an asterisk on a document that you all signed and approved that didn't allow you to charge me per 1,000 gallons. Not my problem.
Our last one is Mr. Charles Barnier.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I need to apologize to Ms. Monday and her staff. Several months ago, my property behind the post office, I was having some water issues, and I reached out to her department, and they responded immediately. It was in my intention to come and to say something to the administration about the cooperation that I received from her and her staff, along with Ms. Gibson. I just want to thank her and staff for just, jumping right on my situation and helping me navigate through problems I had with my water. I just want to say thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
I'll let them know. Thank you.
That's last.
All right, next item is the first approval of the first reading ordinance 2026-2, amending the town's land development code, which permits existing duplexes and prohibits new duplex construction. Ms. King, will you read the preamble?
Yes, ordinance number 2026-2, an ordinance of the town of Eatonville, Florida, amending the code of ordinance of the town of Eatonville, Florida by amending chapter 65, use regulation, section 65-1 to permit existing duplexes in R2, single-family residential zoning districts, providing for legislative findings, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
You have heard the preamble read. I'm going to ask Ms. Sal Mary if you would give a synopsis, and then we'll open it up.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, members of the board, members of the community. My name is Tara Salmary, I'm acting town planner. This evening before you is ordinance 2026-2. It is amending the section of the land development code that is chapter 64. Chapter 64 is the section in the land development code that outlines permitted uses. So today before you is a revision to, or an addition to the use table for a dwelling two family, specifically a duplex, to permit existing duplexes that have been constructed from March 17th, 2026 to anything prior. It explicitly states that construction of new duplexes is prohibited. The last council meeting on February 17th, we were discussing ordinance 2026-1. That was a different ordinance that allowed for new construction of duplex as well as existing. During that discussion, the town council expressed a desire to permit existing duplexes and no longer permit any, not to consider new construction. So the analysis that is part of the staff report has been in every other ordinance, specifically 2025-7, which was the original ordinance, and 2026-1. The items that are listed, there's 24 duplexes that I was able to get off of the property appraiser. I do also want to add the caveat that there are something that are called codes in the system that identify what's a duplex. Sometimes duplexes are not coded accurately. So I was able to grab 24 without going parcel by parcel and visiting I can't guarantee whether there are more. So once the ordinance was revised, it was also reviewed by the town attorney. And the town attorney's recommendation was if we do not have a specific date for the last construction, the recommendation for the attorney's office was to have the date that the ordinance was potentially to be adopted as the date of when the last construction of duplexes were. In the 4 years that I've been the town planner, I have not reviewed or approved any duplexes, but that's just a recommendation in the town attorneys.
All right, thank you.
Those are any questions.
I'm going to open it up for. This item is now open for discussion. If you would like to speak to this item, please go to the lectern, state your name, and
Good evening, Mayor, council, members of the community. I just want to state that I didn't know if anyone was planning or what the ordinance affected, only other than what the ordinance was worded as, and that was my critiquing of it. All of my concerns have been addressed in the revisions that came through. Tara explained it, mapped it out explicitly. I have nothing against what you guys have on the books today. Let me make that clear. Thank you.
We have Anthony Grant.
Yeah, I think I summed it up on last approach, and just thank you for reconsidering the issue that will affect 24 property owners. Again, I just want to make it crystal clear. It's not my intent to build a duplex ever in the history of the town. I just think duplexes are transient, people coming in and out. I believe in home ownership. People being rooted here, going to the church, going to our grocery stores, coming to our council meetings, going to our parks, and celebrating our events as a family. So I just thank you for your consideration. And on behalf of those other applicants or on the property owners that's not here, this is most certainly give them some relief that if something happens to their investment, that they're able to put it back to make themselves home. So thank you for your consideration.
I believe we had Mr. John Barton.
The chairman of the planning and zoning board, we asked over this issue, and I'm in agreement with Mr. Grant. I don't think that a person should be held responsible for something that the law did not upgrade, I think people being grandfathered in. So I think it would be good to go ahead and move forward with this to allow the existing duplexes, whatever should happen. I don't think they should be penalized for that. I think the good thing for the council to go ahead and approve it.
Thank you.
For those wondering, we have good talk. Tara is a genius, and having the chance to go over what she did, I'm like, I'm good. Thank you.
Good evening. Also, as a member of the Planning and Zoning Board, I commend you for trying to bring this back with a clear understanding. It's, you guys have a little rough patch getting here. But again, the fact that you are considering allowing or quote unquote grandfathering on in existing duplexes will, I think, be what's in the best interest of those current homeowners. So again, I stand here as well in support of you approving the first reading to allow duplexes constructed on or before the date that this ordinance is enacted. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to this item? And two, and one. Seeing that there are no more, it is now closed for public discussion. Are there any questions from the council?
Yes, I would just like to add that. So,
Let me go ahead. Want to support.
yeah,
All right, we've heard the preamble. Is there a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2026-2?
so quick question.
It's been moved and seconded, Councilman.
For the sake of the record, who seconded? Watch.
Yeah, just for clarity, I know I'm the one that, continue to bring this item back, and I know the significance of it, and I think it's important that people get the clarity that what is recommended, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad Tara was able to, come up here and, kind of address that with you. Thank you for that. And I know in the past, we probably had people that didn't really understand the concept of what was going on within the guidelines of it, but I'm glad that we're in a position now to move forward, making the decision whether it's voted up or down. But it's something that I brought back like 3 times now, so in hopes that we could possibly pass this and so that's my response.
All right, so it has been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. All right, we have approved ordinance 2026-2, first reading. We move on to the consent agenda, approval of the council meetings for 12/16/25 and 2/17/26. Is there a motion?
Right.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. All right, consent agenda has been approved. Now we're ready for the discussion that we've moved from the engineer.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, residents and guests. My name is Valerie Mundy. I'm the Public Works Director. And I want to first apologize for walking this on because it's not something we normally want to do. I'm very proud that collectively our administration has been able to, and our consultant GCI has been able to bring the water and sewer program to the halfway mark. We are we've met the hurdle that FDEP has required, and they've approved the program that we have. They've authorized us to move forward with engineering, and with your direction, we were able to secure engineering consultants. Our first consultant that we secured was for the sewer system, and this is the replacement of all of the clay pipe that are in all of our neighborhoods. The consultant that was selected was GAI, and they've already moved forward to starting to submit the 60% to replace all of our clay pipe and some of the manholes that are causing a lot of infiltration into the groundwater from the sewer system. That's great. We got that done. The last council meeting, we submitted to you our negotiations and our selection and recommendation for the company WBQ Engineering. They were also on our list of 4 recommended consultants. And they sat here and council voted on moving forward with that firm. As we do with all negotiations, we bring on the town attorney. And in this case, we had Ryan Knight with under the direction of Mr. Shepherd. And we began the negotiations with WBQ, and they got stalled in the area of indemnification. And I would ask for a minute if Mr. Shepherd could explain indemnification.
Sure. Okay, so indemnity is when, and it can go either way, one party to a contract or another party to a contract decides to or agrees to hold harmless the other party for things that may go wrong while they're involved in the work. If it's indemnity from the contractor to the city, it's for things that would happen on the job site. A worker gets injured, somebody in the public gets injured based on the negligence of the contractor or the contractor's employees or subcontractors. And obviously injuries can be substantial. It can be anything as simple as a trip and fall to something more serious. I've seen injuries where people end up killed or maimed for life based on, for example, getting hit by a forklift. So that's what indemnity is from the city to these others. To the contractor, is if anyone from the city side were to do anything to cause injuries to the workers or the job itself. You know, if they were halfway through construction and somebody ran a dump vehicle into the site and messed things up, something along that, or walked on wet concrete or any one of a bunch of other things. The significance of indemnity when it goes from the town or from a city to an individual or to a company is that we cannot, and we have to be careful not to violate our right to sovereign immunity. This sometimes causes problems because under sovereign immunity, our liability is limited to $300,000 total per claim. And as I've mentioned, based on the kinds of things that can happen, sometimes the damages would be in excess. But one of the things as a town attorney or city attorney, we always make sure to do is that by agreeing to any level of indemnity, we do not waive or exceed our sovereign immunity limits. An equally important part of this, and again, I have no idea if that's at play in this one, is we also apply those limits to indemnity claims specifically. And the reason that is true is because the sovereign immunity limits of 300,000 apply to tort claims like personal injury claims. So you get in a car accident, that's a tort claim. You slip and fall, that's a tort claim. But an indemnity claim is a contractual claim. It's a claim under the contract that says, hey, you have a contract that says, if I get sued for any of this stuff, you will indemnify me. And so we make sure that we specify that if we are granting an indemnity, even through the contract, our liability to you for indemnity will be limited by the statutory limits and not greater than that. Again, I don't know what the specific holdup was here, but that is indemnity in a nutshell.
Thank you very much. Our goal was to have language in the contracts. These contracts were developed and reviewed by council, so we wanted to make sure we were protecting the town. Midway through the negotiation, on the 23rd of February, WBQ sent an email saying they respectfully want to decline the opportunity to contract with the town of Eatonville. So that left us in a difficult position. Number one, we were beyond, that's why we had to walk on, because we were past the deadline to submit on this application, on this council agenda, number one. Number two, we had to find a firm that was among the 4 that could, number one, do the work and be willing to contract to get the work done, because the deadline is May 15th to submit this engineering package to DEP in order for us to move to the next stage, which is construction. And then just for your information, the project has to be complete by the end of or mid to late 2027. So we're on a fast moving train that we have to meet. So nonetheless, we discussed it amongst ourselves and we looked at the remaining 4. WPQ had declined. GAI was already working on the sewer program, and Spectra was working with GCI, which is our program manager, they invited them on to do quality control for the entire program. So all of our engineering firms, except for CPH, were already spoken for. So we took that opportunity, asked CPH would they be willing to look at this negotiation and can they get the job done by the May 15th deadline? And they said yes. So we got their proposal, we got their scope, and now we're in the position, we put the package together. They looked at the agreement, the language, they were willing to go along with the indemnification, or in shorter word terms, they will take responsibility for their work if there's any damages, because they have to maintain liability insurance. So in a nutshell, we're presenting that to you to be able to substitute engineering firms under the same conditions and within budget and within the time scope. So we're presenting that to you for your approval. Any questions?
So CPH is taking over the engineering firm for the water.
That's for the water, and I just wanna if I can just say one thing. The water is, the water system, piping system we have, as I've mentioned in the past, is a very specialty item. Because historically, although legal, we have for the main backbone of the water line on Kennedy is asbestos cement piping. It's been legal, but all the communities and the state is funding the replacement of the asbestos cement piping. We in our discussions with CPH, they have a tremendous amount of experience with AC piping, which is what the short version of it. They have done 5 miles of design and replacement of AC piping for the city of Casper. So we know that they can get this done in the way that it needs to be done. And there's a number of things to analyze, whether we're going to keep the pipe in place and run a new pipe within it and let it fracture, or we look at the impact of asbestos, fractured asbestos underground. So there's a number of complicated stories and discussions that we have to do. And we'd like to, although we weren't able to do that now with this administration, we'd like to have the opportunity to present what we're doing with the engineering program and the projects in a short time, so that everyone can know what we've discovered, the solutions that we've come up with. So in short, I'd like to just, we're presenting this to you all for your approval to use CPH in this matter.
If I may, thank you. First of all, thank you for your leadership.
Wait, before you go into discussion, go ahead and do the motions, and we can discuss within the second.
That's right.
All right, so you've heard the presentation. Is there a motion to approve the replacement of the engineering firm to CPH from WPQ?
We'll move with question.
It's been moved and seconded. Now, Councilman.
Okay, first of all, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for everything that you bring to the table for the time of being. I know how adamant you are about getting things done. And that's the kind of leadership that we need in this community. And what makes me feel comfortable is because the company that we originally, was gonna go with are not gonna be doing it. So it makes me feel comfortable to have CPH, because we already have them doing a large percentage of work for us anyway, from an engineer perspective. So I'm very comfortable with approving this. It's a hard yes for me when it comes to this, because of the turnaround that you've done to just even facilitate to do what you did in the time frame of whatever had transpired. So thank you for your everything you're doing, and thank you for just being the leader that we expect you to be. So thanks.
No other questions? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Thank you, Ms. Mundy. The next item on the agenda is the canvassing board replacement. Is there motion? Well, we need to get.
I got one person.
I'm gonna hand it over to CAO.
So, Mayor and Council, what happened was, one person you all put on the canvassing board, their spouse is running, so that makes a conflict of interest. So we need to replace that individual. I would also say a caveat, it could be more than one. We just need to have an odd number and have alternates. election is this weekend, so in case something happened, I would recommend if we have several names, we can say who the permanent is, and then make alternates afterwards, just to make sure we have enough for the canvassing board. Ms. King?
And your recommendation has to be someone that lives in the town of Eatonville, and they also cannot be actively participating in a campaign.
Well, I have one, I don't know if she can speak to the podium. I know I can't speak to her directly because she's in the audience. I know I spoke to her earlier, and she had some concerns on if she could possibly do it or not because of some restrictions with the schedule. So if you could come to the podium, Ms. Brooks.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tanisha Brooks.
Good evening.
I just had a question about the time frame for the board. But I know it's, election 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
You keeping us that?
Yes, the canvass board is required to meet at the supervisor of election on Saturday, which is election day at 5 p.m. Then we are also required to meet on March the 11th at 2:00 p.m. And those two meetings are the only required meetings for the canvass board. And that is to do the vote by mail processing, canvassing of the vote by mail election results. And then also to conduct the independent audit with the provisional ballots, duplicate ballots, anything that pertains to our ballots. That will be the responsibility of the canvass board.
Okay, I can't make the 11th. I could do this Saturday, not the 11th. Yeah.
So with that being said, would that eliminate her from? Yeah, so.
Yes, the canvass
Yeah.
board, you need to be able to make the date.
Because you're definitely someone that I would strongly consider doing it, but being that you got restrictions in your schedule, we're gonna have to probably go a different direction. But thank you
Thank you.
for the bill, John. Thanks.
Councilwoman Jordan, do you have anyone?
I have not really spoken to anybody, but we're here in an open forum. We need some help, y'all. I mean, we need some help. I know that we have, a vast selection of people, in the audience that come to our meetings over and over. I think they live in the historic town of Eatonville. It'll be a great opportunity if somebody could help us.
Yeah.
We would appreciate it. Any takers in the audience?
It's a very unique situation, to be honest with you. You guys be kind of.
I mean, I don't know how else to do it because this was just brought to us today.
Right.
You understand? So this is just my thoughts. Anybody, because you guys always come,
And I would also like to provide a clarity, they cannot be serving on another board.
Okay, there goes Ms. Johnson.
Oh, man.
Because that was my thought, or I would have said that.
So what is the time frame with this being
We have no time frame.
Ms. Quinn,
It has to be done.
This Saturday, the 7th, and March 11th. Like we might have to take.
Saturday at 5 p.m. and on the 11th at 2 p.m.
You know?
one? The alternate.
Anybody?
okay, we got one.
All right, one. Councilwoman, do you have anybody or anyone else?
I'm looking around here. Does anyone want to volunteer?
Everybody, gonna live here or be in office? Just think somebody like.
That live in Eatonville?
But I'm working. I would love to.
And it has to be tonight.
It has to be tonight. We don't have another meeting.
If not, we still have the other person, Ms. King, and
Yeah,
I'm just trying to find another alternate just to make sure.
You find somebody before midnight.
So we have 3.
our charter only requires,
Oh,
We have three.
we have 3.
Yeah,
Oh,
three.
Okay, well,
But if someone
we don't have.
if someone doesn't show up, then we got a problem.
It's this.
We will not be able to certify or any of that. We'll have to, I don't know, Attorney Shepherd, you have to.
The problem would be if, let's say, one of the 3 do not show up and we have to make a decision, then those 2 people have to be a majority.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have an alternate, but there's only, according to our charter, 3 that would just be participating.
So I can give you somebody to reach out to. Can you, as the council tonight, authorize the CAO to contact someone tomorrow?
Tonight.
be tonight.
Can you as a council authorize the CAO, if he contacts the person tomorrow, you roll with?
Well, we can
Yeah,
go ahead,
that's
we can go
gonna
ahead and vote for that person, and if they decline, then it won't cause any problems.
Let me provide clarity. We need to make a decision tonight. I have to contact supervisor of election first thing in the morning.
So you have 3, you want alternate.
So we're gonna put a name. And Freddie say yes.
So what's the name? You wanna?
I would tell you guys, reach
Wanna
out
get
to
the
Valerie
phone?
Chambers.
Salary chambers.
Okay.
So a solution, and Attorney Shep, you tell me if I'm off right now. Can we, hold this for a second and let Ms. Johnson make a phone call to
Yeah,
ask?
I was gonna say the same thing.
Right.
Take a 5-minute recess.
Yeah, we'll take a 5-minute recess and make a phone call, and then if she says yes, then you can go ahead and move forward. I'm just trying to keep it from being stalled, cause like I say, if by some chance somebody does not show up on Saturday, we're in a pickle.
Right.
I'm just trying to think of.
And with that being said, I'm gonna make a phone call as well, so I think everybody else should be.
How many hours on on Saturday, 5 to what, and how many hours on the 11th? Need
It's
clarity.
probably gonna be from 5 until the polls close at 7 o'clock, right, Ms. King?
Yes, we will be there until after the polls
So
close and
let's
we
call
will,
it 5 hours for each one.
for each, I won't, I can't guarantee that.
Yeah, I won't, I'll.
And once they get it, they're stuck. So. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go into recess.
We'll take 5 minutes.
All right. Thank you. It is 8:22. We'll reconvene around 8:27.
Well, I don't think it's time frame, because you could become a resident tomorrow, and you still can vote tomorrow, you can still vote on Saturday.
Okay, so what time for the 11th?
2 o'clock, right, on the 11th?
The election is for 5 and Saturday at 5 o'clock.
Wednesday, March 11th at 2 p.m.
Okay, how's it going out there?
That is.
No, you don't have to count ballots. They're counting, it's a discrepancy, then you have to determine, that's all it is, they count.
Stretch out a little bit. Sit up tight.
The meeting?
Yeah, let's get. I'm a manager, man. Oh, yeah. I just
Call out like this, it was much. Saturday won't be an issue, but next Wednesday.
I got you, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Really? It's a very unique situation.
No, I want to, I mean.
You know what I'm saying? Because you see so much behind the scenes and it's fascinating to watch. Yeah.
I definitely don't mind doing it.
Yeah, I know, but you know, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
So it's been an opportunity for us.
Yeah. is like finding people who are qualified and available. So it'd be like trying to find people for the canvassing board. Now you can call them and then they'll find out that they can't do it because you can only have one magistrate job per lawyer. So everybody in our firm has a magistrate gig. I'm Kissimmee, Holly, I can't remember where she's at, but I think she may have OE or something, but we're all, and most of the government lawyers have a magistrate gig somewhere. And you really need somebody who understands this stuff. So that's why the RFP is an important thing, because then you can find out, oh, there is somebody out there who knows this and can do it.
All right, so me. So, I think Councilman Mack joked about it, earlier, that this council will be shifted after this coming Saturday. So to properly plan for what's about to take place, the next council meeting will be on March 17th. As you all know, anything for council meeting for the 17th will be returning this Friday, coming up. With that being said, from an administration standpoint, unless there's an emergency come up, we're not planning on putting anything on that agenda for that meeting, because we just want to be able to do, changing of the guards, people say their last words, swearing to new people, and we'll go from there. Reason being, once that new board is in place, there need to be some key votes that has to take place. There will have to be the filling of a empty seat. There would have to be selecting of a CRA chair, vice chair. It's quite a few things, and I think that will be a lot to do on that night. So the recommendation is on that Tuesday night, we would do the swearing in. That Thursday, we would call a special meeting to conduct council business. That's kind of where we stand right now. If anybody have any feedback, I'll take it back.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that meeting's gonna be prior to CRA or after CRA?
I talked with the CRA director today. He's going to move, he's planning on moving that meeting. So that be a meeting that will just start 5:30, 6 o'clock on that Thursday to conduct all the meetings that need to be, all business that need to be conducted.
So
Because
5:30 for CRA?
no, it won't be a CRA meeting on that day. And the reason being, the seat that has to be voted on is vacated this Friday. So we have 30 days to fill that. If we don't fill it, then we have to go to a special election. That's why we need to be proactive on the way we're doing things.
For clarity, the seat will be vacant on the 16th.
On the 16th, I'm sorry, on the 16th.
Irrevocable resignation there.
Okay.
Got one question. Second reading of the,
We'll still do second reading. That will have to come up.
Would that be on the next?
That'd be on the next
Be
agenda.
on the agenda?
yeah.
And then I guess we'll decide, Attorney Shepherd, you can help me, is it the current board or do we wait till the new board come on?
You mean for the second reading?
Yes.
No, it'll be whoever is here. It would be obviously great for continuity if these were the same people, but we know that won't happen. And there's no requirement that the same people be the ones who vote on second reading.
Or can we do it like we did before? Can we do it and then have the people that are elected?
Yeah, that has happened before. I've seen it happen.
Because we did that this year. Like we did that recently, I think, with you. I'm not saying.
Doing the swearing before.
No, so what Councilman Mack is saying, do we go ahead and conduct business and then the swearing in at the end?
We did that.
Old business, then you have new business. Do old business, then you have new business.
So we'll keep that presentation for the reading, the second reading, and then we'll go into the other presentation.
Did you hear that, Attorney Shepherd?
I'm sorry, I was trying to.
I was asking for clarification for what you said. So do the second reading with the current board and then the I'm.
Okay, so the answer to your question is, it does not legally matter whether it is the current board or the newly elected board. For continuity's sake, it would be good because you all have been through this debate
Right.
4 times as long
You know,
to get to this point. Because the king's concern is, well, if we swear in the other board first, or the new people first,
A lot of
then
questions. Right.
then we can't do that. Because obviously, once they're sworn in, they're in.
Right.
And immediately upon election, as a reminder to everybody, they are subject to giant public records, and they need to understand that immediately. But yeah, so if this was on the next agenda as the first item of business and you wanted to do it as a continuation, there's nothing that would stop you from doing that piece of business before doing the swearing in. You couldn't do the swearing in and then say, but we're gonna still have one more vote.
Yes, yes,
So we'll finish this first.
Okay.
in the old business, then you have new business.
Okay.
Also, since I had a meeting with the auditor on Monday, I know I promised you all that we were trying to have the audit. That was my wish to have it done by the end of March. Now it looks like it's gonna be mid-April, beginning of May. I've instructed staff that we're gonna start the budget process in the month of May. So right now, just to let you all know, meeting with department heads, we're to evaluate our budgets right now within departments, and they have to justify them to me. So the time the new council come in, we will probably be doing some budget adjustments. And I've told everybody, do not try to fluff a budget. Either you're gonna be able to pull it off or you're not. And then if not, money into contingency and reserves. We gotta start thinking proactive instead of reactive. I know the question came up about cash flows. We have been analyzing cash flows, and the cash flows are being in continuity with the line of credit. So, and all the grants that we have going on, and how long it's gonna take to get back. So we are analyzing that to let you know. The question was in reference to the impact fees. Ms. Mundy has found the information on the water and sewer impact fees, so we are engaging them again. And to be perfectly transparent, this should have been completed and it didn't, but we are actively going through this process very quickly. Very quickly. We are, like I said, we're doing a budget analysis of 6 months. I will be coming back towards council. We have a financial software. I'm not happy with the financial software. I've talked to other municipalities. They've gotten rid of the financial software we have, and it's causing the problems with audits and everything. So I will be having to come back towards council that we may need to remove it. Not maybe, we need to move to another software that's more robust and can do all of the accounting and reporting needs. We're looking at some organizational structure changes. In the police department and other places, we do have a solution for the deputy chief position. We heard what was said, we will bring that up. If not at that special call meeting, at another meeting of how the funds can be distributed to the people that's been here with longevity. So we have figured that out, but there is another position that has to be added in that has caused we're dealing with the audit, and that's in our records department. Records and evidence need to be two separate individuals because of accountability. What I wanted to say to everyone is, let's start trusting our experts. I know we have people that has historical data on the town or say this is how we've been doing it. But if you don't have the documentation, that don't cure it with me. We need to show documentation. We need to be able to show where there's a policy, there's procedure, there's a code, there's something there, not what someone is saying. So a lot of things, I know a lot of people been questioning, why I do things I do. You can't tell me we've been doing it like this for 10 years, 20 years, and you can't show me a document and the steps that we need to be doing. And that's what's causing us a lot of grief. So let's just keep that in mind. We are doing 6 months evaluations. All department heads will have their evaluations done by me. My evaluation will be done by the mayor with input from you all. But evaluations have been told by staff has to be done, no exception, by the end of March. Because the time is out now. That's a 6-month evaluation with goals and all that. Because that's gonna cure a lot of this people just getting raised across the board and may not be reaching what they need to do. We need to have evaluations. People may not agree with it, but in all other municipalities and corporations, they're doing evaluations to determine merit goals and all that, and we got to just hold people accountable. We need to look at our fee structures. We're looking at permit fees and all that. A lot of those things are outdated, so we will bring that back to you. Business tax license. We need to look at having business tax license for all vendors. So when we have festivals and all that come, they all need to have business tax license in the town of Eatonville because it's costing us to do the business. Also, along with that, we just gotta continue to make sure that we're doing the right thing. Last thing is the PAL Center. The bathrooms have been delivered to the PAL Center down in Calvin Park. They will start this upcoming Monday with the final touches of decking and awnings and all those things and painting and all those things that need to take place. And we're moving forward. And that ends my report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Jordan Lewis.
I start short and sweet. First of all, I'd like to thank our lobbyist, Mr. Gilzine, for the update in terms of assisting us with getting off that watch list. I think that's very, very important that we take a step in that right direction. So thank him very, very much. I'd like to send my condolences to the Anderson's family, Mrs. Ira Anderson. They're located right here on College Street. So my condolences to the family. I'd like to thank Mrs. Lisa Grant for agreeing to assist us with the canvassing board. We really do appreciate that. Thanks for the update on the impact fees, and also big shout out to the Eatonville Chamber of Commerce. They had a fantastic Black History Speaks event this Saturday. That was great. We had Dr. Neil Voss was there, Judge Michaela Nixon, also our House Representative Anna Escamani came through. So that was a very good event. I'd like to thank the town as well as the CRA for the dedication of the Gloria Ware Community Park. I really appreciate that. My mother says thank you to each and every one of you all if you were not there. And lastly, to our town planner, Ms. Tard, thank you for helping us navigate through this duplex situation and to the residents for your patience in us trying to come to this conclusion. I'm sure it'll probably be another issue somewhere down the line that we may request your patience in us trying to get things right. So again, thank you all, and thank you to each and every one of you all for coming out to participate with us here in this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Red.
You skipped Attorney Shepherd, man. He feels some kind of way.
Oh.
Yes, well, I'm certain the mayor wants to be done with me quicker than most. No, I just want to give an update about property taxes, since obviously we should all be very interested in what's going on. So there's still been no moves on the Senate to correspond to the moves on the House, which did come up with a bill that was passed, so that there was a companion in the Senate. Then this would be going to the governor's desk, and then eventually show up on a ballot. It coming to you regarding property tax reform. And there would probably be lawsuits challenging the measures no matter what happened, but I wouldn't have a lot of faith in those lawsuits, not because they wouldn't have merit, but because our Supreme Court is packed with people who were appointed by a certain governor. That having been said, what I have been told, and we heard confirmation tonight, is that they don't think that the session is supposed to end on the 13th. Okay. Based on what we heard tonight, it doesn't look like that will happen. And in addition, according to a source that I spoke to today, who works daily with the legislature, he believes there will be a special session just for this issue of property tax reform. What will it look like? Well, as we've discussed, the one that got through the House was that $100,000 a year for the next 10 years. So that if you're anywhere under $1 million by year 10, you're paying nothing. And if you're under, and depending on where you are, if you've already got a $50,000 deduction and your house is worth $300,000 in a couple 3 years, you would have no property tax. And that sounds good, except as I've mentioned, local government is paid for with property tax, and there is zero plan for what would replace the income lost to the city. In this city, it's roughly 33% of the homes that are homesteaded. So if we can think, okay, could we take a 30%, 33% cut on our ability of revenues and still pay the bills? Right now, I don't know that that's viable. It's possible if we can do the impact fees, get those in, and we have some growth with Hungerford that generates revenue and is not non-taxable. That's obviously been a concern since day one. But right now, it would be a rough road to hoe, and to say we would have to be austere in our budgeting is an understatement. So I'm hoping that something, if it does pass, which seems likely, it will be less draconian, less severe than what's on the table right now. And all I can tell you is keep your eyes open and your ears open. And if you have time to call somebody and complain, this would be a good time to call and complain.
Thank you. Councilwoman.
All right, thank you. Thank you everyone for coming out tonight. I want to appreciate everything that we did tonight. It was very positive and we're moving in the right direction. I have in my report tonight, I just have some simple things that I just want to mention. First of all, as everyone knows, we have an election that was already explained. I believe that everyone needs to be treated with dignity and respect, and that's my character. I think it's very inappropriate for anyone to come to a council meeting and mark our council. Our council members deserve respect. We may not like certain people. It may not be intentional or unintentional. It doesn't matter. Every citizen should be treated with dignity. Every resident treated with dignity and respect. All of our officers, dignity and respect. We say we love Eatonville, but why do we contradict things such as our conduct in this manner? We need to be who we say we are. If we are in a historic town and we say that we love this town, let's show some love. We're not perfect, and I'm not perfect. I'm subject to make mistakes. All of us have made mistakes in our lives. I think it was confessed tonight by two individuals about their past. But to me, it doesn't matter. I look at you as a person. And if I can do something to help you to move on, I'm here for you. And I respect the same. So we come to these meetings because the whole world is watching. They watch Eatonville. They watch us. They listen to how we talk. They listen to when we come to our meetings. And do we really want that to be in front of the world to see that we are a bunch of people, predominantly Black people, acting this way? No, we should be ashamed of ourselves coming in this format. Over the weekend, I had one of those funny looking signs in front of my door, but it was on the opposite side of the street. I don't know who put it there. I didn't see no one put it there. Cheatonville. Why? Why is that? Why do we have to go there? Why? For what reason? That tells me that when you do things like that, you feel that you're being defeated. So you have to go that way. There's no excuse in this whatsoever. And I want you to know that I am running for the office of mayor, whether or not you like me or you don't like me. And I will appreciate your support as your mayor. And if I don't get elected as your mayor, that's okay with me. Because you know something? I put my faith in God. And he's going to make the right decision, whether or not it's me or someone else. And I will still yield respect to my opponents. I have not disrespected no one at all in this place here. And I want everyone to be winners. And we will be winners. Even the losers will be winners. And that's the way I see it. Also, the next thing, which is very important to me, we have to show urgency with this financial situation that we're in. the state has already declared an emergency on the town of Eatonville. I'd like to put a motion on the floor that we move forward and get someone here or hire someone immediately on an emergency hire to have someone to come in to get us out of this status so we can move on with this town. And I think it's very important. If we don't show any action before we leave here tonight, knowing what was said to us, that we are at risk as a town. We need to, everyone on this council need to move forward and let's put a motion on the floor and let's agree and let's get someone, a professional person here to help the town of Eatonville.
I would move it, but question to the CAO, if I may. And that question would be, do you already have something lined up coming down the pipeline dealing with this issue, or is it something that we really need to push forward with doing?
So I've talked with the auditors on moving forward. They're giving some recommendations to some people to come in. I think if you all want to do this and want to take the limitations off, you can set it with up to a certain dollar amount, and then we'll give some milestones, and then we can go from there.
Okay, I just want to get your opinion on that. So I'm definitely willing to do this because I know the predicament that we're in and that we've been in for quite some time now. So I'm in favor of this.
There is a motion on the floor.
I moved it.
Ms. Randolph moved it, you're seconding.
Yes.
The only, it would need to be two motions, one for the position and one for the money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this motion is to approve immediate hiring of necessary personnel for finance. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. All right, so now is there a motion to move the funding, which the information will have to come to you after the fact, and the account changes. So is there a motion to make the transfer of money from the contingency over into the finance line in order to accomplish this?
A question.
Second.
It's been seconded.
I have a question. How much funds are we looking at right now?
So is it up to?
Up to whatever amount you are.
Not to
exceed.
Not to exceed would be a suggestion.
Okay.
If we're talking about, so not to exceed what, 30,000? It
Oh,
depends
we
on
know
how
that
long it's
information.
going to
Go ahead.
take.
Honestly, my gut tells me that 50,000
50.
That's not
is the number.
Okay.
Now, it may well be less than that, but that you could comfortably go to another auditor, CPA or whatever, and I think that's the discipline you need to be in. Because if you look at the history, and I have all the way back to 2024, the constant, it's been inadequate accounting records. And so if you're gonna get out of that hole, this is where you gotta start.
And that will come along with whoever's brought in. There will be a scope of work done, milestones and all that will be brought back to you all.
Okay, all right, so up to 50,000.
Yes.
It's been moved. I
That is
don't-
repeated. Ms.
Repeat it for me, please.
And so the
Yeah.
second motion is to,
And everything is gonna change up here, like. It's only for should be.
but that doesn't, but we still have to get this taken care of.
Yes.
So it's to transfer funds from contingency to the finance line up to 50,000 in order to
Facilitate. getting us-
finance, yes, the new position. Everything else is going to be in proper order, the procurement and all of that. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed.
Thank you.
Is that it, Councilwoman?
Yes, everyone have a very good night and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
All right, Councilman Mack.
I mean, I thank everybody for coming out this evening. I really appreciate everybody being engaged in town business. It's imperative that we sit up here and do the business of the town, and anybody that have any concerns, we welcome you. The meetings are every first Tuesday and third Tuesdays, you know what I'm saying? I recommend anybody that want to be involved and want to really make a difference in the community to come out. So with that being said, also my condolences to everybody that have suffered in the loss. I had to actually just go and bury my auntie, Ola Mae. She lived in the community for like 20 plus years. She's originally from Georgia, and that was a hard thing to do. So and also Miss Anderson, she was such a sweetheart, with just everything that she done, being so supportive and loving in our community also. So my condolences go out to the Anderson family and anybody else that have suffered in the loss. The Drove concert, it was sensational. Anybody that had an opportunity to go out there will say the same, I'm sure. The young man, he put together something that I look forward to annually. I know it's the first annual thing that he did. So it was a great crowd, great music, a lot of positive things that had taken place out there, great venues. So anybody that look forward to attending that next year, I strongly recommend you do it. And also this weekend is going to be a very eventful weekend as well. First Saturdays, we know that we have the Life Circle, which is Mr. Stanley and Miss Stanley. They do a terrific job with the leadership that they demonstrate with just bringing this organization to life and, just doing things that, is contagious in this community. We got kids involved, you got adults, you got some seniors, believe it or not, that ride. So thank you all so much for your leadership. And if you do want to come out, the meeting point is at Denton Johnson in between 7:30 and 8. Take off around by 8:15, finish up about 10. If you want to come out, just get a nice bike ride in, and then they do provide bikes also. So if anybody's interested in doing it, just contact me, and I'll be able to lead you guys in the direction that you need to go in as far as bike rental, and it's free, so it doesn't cost you anything. And also I know I spoke about the charter, which is a board that I had an opportunity to sit on. I know how important it is to revise any board. I don't care what it is, especially this one, this is the Bible to the community. The only thing that trumps is the Florida statute. So I think it's important that we move forward with possibly, especially with the new administration that we're gonna have in place, with getting someone to better facilitate and do some things that's gonna be like-minded with changes that we need within that charter. So hopefully we can get that done with our new business, with our new council that will be set up as well. Post down, I know this is an issue that we've been dealing with. Also, I know the expected date was some years ago. We're right here in year 5 now. And I'm just concerned with, what direction we're going in. And then my concern seeks more than just what I'm speaking on. And I'll speak outside of that public with you. And I'm pretty sure you know what I'm speaking on. So if we can get some kind of clarity on when the anticipated date that they're gonna be completed, that'd be great also. Good luck to all the candidates. This body of government is not gonna look the same. I can tell you that right now. I wish everybody luck. And I know how Stoops gotta be just to, even have consideration to be a candidate, for any elective body that you want to serve on. So I recommend anybody that is gonna serve up here to come out here with good faith and good stewardship to lead this town, and not just for yourself, but for the people. I work for the people, and I remind people that every day, the people are the CEOs. So just have a great intention when you get up here, sitting in one of these seats right here. And the water rate, I know I've been reiterating about this for some time now, and I know we're kind of like, stagnant about which direction we're gonna go in that. So hopefully we can have a real sit down discussion and come up with some kind of clarity and conclusion on how we're gonna help, reimburse these funds that are much deserving of the people, especially our citizens, with these water rates being so high to no fault of ours. You know what I'm saying? It was the cost of one asterisk that got us to this point. So hopefully we can clear that up as well. Ms. Lisa Grant, I thank you for your leadership. People like you that make this town thrive. You can easily say you weren't available, but you made yourself available. So thank you for your leadership and everything that you bring to the town of Eatonville, being here practically all your life too. So this won't be my last thing, but Attorney Shepherd knows what I'm gonna ask him. But before I ask you that, thanks to all the presentation that was presented tonight too. A lot of great information that we received. Looking forward to possibly working with some of the groups that had came up and made their presentations. And one of the highlights of this month, or this past month, last month rather, is Ms. Webb, getting her recognition. to have that park named after her. You know, it's well overdue. I'm thanking God that I was a part of the process of making that happen. So I'm going to continue giving her flowers while she's here, and congratulations to her for having that park named after her. Where community park. So kudos to you as well. Love you. Thank you for everything that you've done. And Attorney Shepherd, of course, this is my last thing. Do we have any lawsuits pending at the time?
I have not been provided with a copy of anything, but I have heard that there may be a new lawsuit, some sort of a personal injury claim that has been turned over to the insurance defense firms. I do not know. I will get more information on it, but I have heard that there may be some sort of a lawsuit in that regard. So what kind? It could be a trip and fall, or it could have been a motor vehicle deal. I don't know, but it's been turned over to our carrier, and I do not have a copy of it.
All right, thank you for the information. That's my report. Thank you. I'll have a great evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. Got several things I'm gonna talk about. I know people say they love 1887. People always say they love 1887. One thing I want to echo with this, Councilman Randolph was talking about how this election been no negativity amongst candidates, but we got to unite. We got to unite. Whoever's up here, we got to unite, because what makes me so mad sitting in the Orange County School Board chambers here to talk about Eatonville. If you was in there, you shouldn't feel good at all. How they talk down about Eatonville. Some of the women was probably in elementary school when those things was happening, but they voiced their opinion, how we act. And that's not what we should be doing. You want to be a leader up there? Let's lead. Let's lead. Tell people, hey, I'm not with that. I'm not with that there. Because we got to unite and do better. Got to unite and do better. Yeah, I'm a candidate running for mayor. But the thing is, I don't talk about nobody. I run on my marriage. That's it. That's all I'm up here for. I know what I stand for. I got integrity. People supported me 13 years. Got me out my civilian life. Got me out my civilian life to run. Then I run with Mr. Grant. He got me saying, man, they want us back up here. And 13 years ago, we ran. I've been here since 12. Because my supporters. I ran one time uncontested because people love what I do. So that's where my heart is at. And like I said, if you was at those meetings and seeing those people talk about it this time, you should be really like, hey, we don't need no negativity. Whoever win. Shake hands. Hey, go my way, you go your way, whatever. That's how it's gonna be with me. But on that issue there. But condolences to Ms. Randolph. She lost a loved one in her family. Condolences to Mr. Councilman Charles Mack. He lost his auntie. And to the Anderson family that's lost one this week. I mean, like I say all the time, people are leaving here. And we need to honor them like we did for Story where somebody was in my life when I was a young kid. Drum corps, tennis, recreation department, theater program, all those things there that she used to be involved in. So definitely honor these people while they're here. And I felt good doing that for her, being a part of that. Because that's what we got to do. Like I said, that block was our block when we grew up. If you grew up in the 70s, early 70s and 80s, that's what we hung out at. Before the pool. So that's why I want to really put that on Miss Ware. Because she definitely was out there with us during those times. One thing I have left now is just get out and vote March 7th. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Women's History Month. Attorney Shepherd, I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
This goes back to the WBQ group that stepped out. And here's my concern. And I'm assuming they're small, local versus CPH that's large. And that seems like it's going to be an issue for the small businesses. How do you know any alternatives to help small businesses?
Maybe but they have this version of what it is about the indemnity, which is, this is standard language. So what it is they didn't like, they just didn't like the possibility. And the thing that makes it interesting is, or as was mentioned by Ms. Money, most firms, this is not a big deal because they have insurance. And the indemnity part of it, i.e. I've done something wrong or I've something negligently, somebody gets hurt, they just turn it over to the carriers, the same way we turn whatever this claim is over to our carrier. So the indemnity language is there, but indemnity is only as strong as the financial wherewithal of the people who are offering it. And that's why insurance is the great equalizer. You get a good insurance policy, that becomes your indemnity.
Might be the cost.
And if that's true, candidly, we shouldn't do business with somebody who can't afford to do business with us, because that's standard business.
Right.
Yeah, that's, I don't think I can add much more to that.
And after that's just them saying why specifically.
Yeah,
Okay.
if they had it, if somebody said, hey, look, we need to strike this, I'm happy to work with anybody and come up with something maybe that works. But going without indemnity, then we get sued.
Thank you. Kudos to Ryan Novak. Also to Anthony Griggs. We all have a story. We all have our story. So, and it takes a lot to get up there and tell your story. So kudos to you. And with that, I'm sorry. It is 9/11. We move forward.
Slow. Slow.
It's been moved to the second. Then we'll do the second. All gonna say aye. All opposed.
Are you gonna play one of these Saturdays? No. Gotta go back to work. Well, I'm working Saturday and I can't take over. Yes, I am. So every election. Every election. My first election was the Obama election, and I was on the FAMU in my freshman year. And I was yeah, that was my first one. I was voting. Knocking on those doors, the election Saturday at 9 a.m. trying to figure out if you go vote. I can count on it like clockwork. He was gonna come by. Yeah, you do.